If you're still taking every setup that you see, you're already behind. Real consistency only comes from high probability setups. The kind of trades where the odds are stacked and you don't need to guess. The problem is that most traders can't tell the difference between a high and a low probability setup. They just chase moves, they force entries, and end up trading noise just for the sake of being in a position. Now in this video, I'm going to break down the exact structure of a high probability setup, step by step, using the clean GU trade that I'm about to show you. Now by the end, you'll know exactly what I look for so that you can filter out weak trades and only focus on the ones that actually move the needle. So let's jump onto the charts. As you can see here, we're on the daily time frame. Now the initial thought process on this daily time frame is that we had this range high and we had this range low. We'd also just swept out some previous structure, in which we can refer to as a wick sweep. Okay, and ideally what I'm going to be looking for is we can either play the continuations or we can play the reversals, depending if the H4 does X, Y, and Z. Now on the H4 time frame, which I'll show you guys shortly, it did shift bearish. So therefore my initial process here was that, okay, well, price just had a recent rally, we're looking pretty overextended, we just worked out some significant structure, therefore I'm going to anticipate a pullback. So yes, this was anticipating a daily pullback, at least minimum into this kind of part of the range, right? Now when we jump onto the H4 time frame, you can clearly see here that we had broke bearish. Now if you don't understand the way I map structure, it may look a little bit confusing to you guys. I've done a market structure masterclass that you can go ahead and check out. It's very easy, it's very rule based, and it's simple. And as you can see here, price had shifted bearish, taking out this low. We had then formed a new range low and a new range high, and a previous POI which caused the short term rejection. But we didn't really follow through. We instead melted to the downside and put in a new low and a new high. Therefore we have a new trading range to potentially look to sell from, whilst we can target into the H4 lows. Okay, now obviously as you can see here, price had obviously filled the imbalance. We tapped into my refined version of a supply zone, and obviously I can refer to this as a potential supply chain forming, which is obviously where the previous mitigations are kind of occurring from. So when we jump onto the 15-minute chart, you can clearly see that here. Well, before I jump into that actually, because I'm going to try and show you guys step by step in terms of playing the bar replay forward, I just want to discuss here that this is also a valid long opportunity to take as well. Now this is kind of medium probability, as you're not really trading with a H4 trend, and ideally the high probability sets do come from when you obviously with the trend. Now this long here, this is actually what some of my students actually took and caught a nice profit from, which is nice to see. And yeah, if you targeted into the Asia highs or the M15 high or even the POI, you're still going to bank some nice risk to reward, right? But as you can see from here, price is obviously selling off on the H4, and obviously this on the H4, this is all inside of a bearish range, and obviously the M15 high got taken. What I mean by that is that a higher low, well, the previous lower high is now turned into a higher high, right? And as you can see, we closed bullish, we had a new range high and a new range low. So now we can look to trade and potentially anticipate that price is going to pull back into this area of interest on the H4 time frame. Now we can look to ride that wave. We can look to try and catch the longs inside of the H4 bearish range, anticipate that we're going to pull back, because that's exactly what we're looking to do, to look for shorts on the daily, or the H4 time frame. But we're keeping that in mind on the daily time frames in terms of, well, we're looking to look at shorts, right? And anyways, as you can see from here, price came back down. We didn't really react to any points of interest. We more so just wick rejected out the range low, and obviously then the M1 had shifted bullish and provided long opportunities to the upside. Now I won't jump onto the M1 to show you the entry, because I'm going to be showing you the different type of entry, but that's kind of a medium probability setup in terms of anticipating a high time frame pullback at H4, right? Because obviously the higher the time frame you go in terms of trading with the trend, the more conviction it's going to have in terms of playing out, because the high time frame always rules the low time frame. But hey, you don't always need to be on the right side of the high time frame trend in order to make a little bit of money. You just need to simply catch a little slice of the pie. Anyways, as you can see from here, we broke structure, we formed a new range high and a new range low. Now price didn't really pull back deep enough into this area, the extreme order block. We more so came back down into this breaker, but just filled the imbalance and continued bullish. Okay, now at this point, we've obviously put in a new high here. We've more so consolidated here for a little while, And maybe even a lot of you may look at this as a potential support zone. You know, some other types of traders, in terms of support and resistance traders, they may look at this and think, oh, okay, well, price seems to reject this area, let's just wait for another retest and look to go short. And obviously therefore there'll be a liquidity pool there of stops, which is highly probable. Now also on the flip side, we've broken bullish, aka the support zone, or sorry, the resistance zone has now become a support zone. So there's either going to be people buying on the breakout or people buying on the, you know, the retest. Okay, so in terms of psychology, the human psychology, and adding it to the markets, that is kind of the thought process, right? But as you can see, price had obviously mitigated this H4 POI, which is this zone here. And now what we're going to be looking for here on the H4 M15 time frame, sorry, is we're going to wait for an M15 low to get taken. Therefore, we can anticipate that we're going to follow through to look for shorts to head into, you know, to run into the H4 lows ideally. Now, you don't need to target into the H4 lows to make money. You can target into the M15 lows or target a fixed risk reward of a 1 to 2. Or hell, you might even want to target into an M1 low. And still, you'll make a little bit of money, right? But in this case, price did run into the H4 lows because we're trading with a H4 intent. Now, let's just play price forward. Don't get me wrong, you probably can drop, you know, get away with dropping to the M1 here, anticipating an M15 pullback short term, right? After sweeping out this area of liquidity. But that's not as high probability as waiting for price to actually align on the M15. So let's just play price forward, see what price does. Okay, so yeah, you might have a POI here marked up as well. And as you can see from here, if it speeds up a little bit, we get a short-term reaction, right, which may induce people looking to long, which is absolutely valid, right? It's an M15 bullish range. But we're inside of a high time frame POI, so high time frame rules a low time frame, and a lot of the time it's just not going to really work out. Sometimes it may, right? So yeah, there will be more long people here based on support and resistance, based on a typical order block inside of a bullish range. There may also be sellers here on the breakout of this new low, right? So what we're looking for here is now we're still yet to form a range low. Well, we kind of did here, but I skipped too far ahead, but we broke structure again. But either way, we broke structure here, and we had the same range highs we would potentially when it forms here, right? So as you can see from here, we obviously shifted back bearish, and now we have a new range high, and therefore we have a new potential point of interest, and where we want to be looking to trade from. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do here is, I'm going to go ahead and mark up this point of interest, maybe refine it into the imbalance there if needed. And as you can see from here, I'm going to mark up the market shift to the downside. So as you can see, we've got an M15 shift to the downside. The M15 has now broke bearish, which is aligning with a H4 bias. So what we're going to be looking for here is M15 pullback into our area of interest. So let's just see. So we're tapping into the zone here, right? So what we're going to be doing now is jumping down to the M1 time frame. But before I do that, it's quickly worth noting that we have some equal lows here. So this may be a potential support area where people may have bought from in terms of, okay, well, we've rejected this point quite a few times in the past, right? And they may also look at it and be like, well, it's kind of around the key area as well, the 3500 region. So let's look to go long here. So you don't really need to think about this heading into every position, but if you can understand it, you know, it just makes a lot more sense. Because usually some of the trades that you take, right, the high probability setups are usually the ones that look easy when all the stars are aligned, and they should be easy. If you are hesitating on a trade, you feel a little bit of FOMO, you're probably going to be entering a bad setup. Okay, so now that we're inside of this area and the M15 is on our side, we've got M15 low, M15 high, we just broke structure not also here but also here. We have a point of interest mitigation. We're going to jump down to the M1 time frame. Now on the M1 time frame, we're going to simply wait for our confirmation. Now, if you don't understand the way I map structure, like I said earlier, go ahead and check out my other videos. Check out my market structure masterclass and come back to this video, and it may make a little bit more sense. But anyways, as you can see from here, we're just simply repeating the process as we did on the M15 inside of the H4 range. So, price broke bullish, range high, range low. More so just had a short-term pullback. We broke structure, range high, range low. Right, we're still breaking high highs and high lows. Okay, now we've tapped into the point of interest. We have this range high, range low. Price just mitigates this and puts in a slight new high. Okay, new range high, range low, and as you can see what happened there, price had obviously shifted bearish. So what we're going to be doing from here is, now we have our shift to the downside like this. We're going to simply await for price to pull back into this newly formed M1 supply zone. Okay, now I wait for candle confirmation. You can set a limit order if you really must, but I wait for candle confirmation. And if you don't understand what candle confirmation is, well, guess what? I've done a video on that as well. So let's just see if we can get a pullback into this area of interest, because this is the zone where I want to sell from, but I'm going to just take it up a notch and just wait for extra confirmation. Okay, so we formed the range low in the market now. Let's just see if we can tap into the zone. It might skip too far ahead here, but oh well. So we're still yet to confirm that we're going to react to this point of interest. Now we get the confirmation that I'm looking for. Okay, so from this point I can go ahead and enter shorts with my stop loss just above the zone, or if you want to be really aggressive, above the candle. But because it's a pretty small candle, I'm going to just have it above the zone, and just to account for spreads. Okay, now from there, like I said, you can either target a fixed 1 to 2, which is highly, highly favorable within my community, or you can target into the M15 lows, or you can take it up to the next notch because you're trading with a H4 intention and target into the H4 lows. Okay, now like I said, depending on your TP or your stop loss placement, sorry, you'll either have, well, 1 11R or 2 a 6 7R, right? But the RR shouldn't matter. We should remember to stick to the process, and it doesn't matter if it's a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 6 or 1 to 11. It really doesn't matter. What should matter is that you've perfected the process, right? We understand everything that's happening right now, and this is a high probability setup. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to enter the trade on my Match Trader platform or MetaTrader platform, whatever you want to use, and then we're going to simply just let the trade play out. We can go ahead and manage it as well if you want to, or you can just set and forget. That's the two different types of approaches. Now from here, price more so just creates optional scaling opportunities. Okay, so we get a little reaction off here. We then get an internal reaction off there as well, which we can actually mark up. And these are just optional entry points or scaling points. So if you had missed the first position, or maybe you want to stack to your first winning position, you can go ahead and adjust your stops above these zones of the original position, so you're not really risking it or losing anything. If you, for example, price did hit up here, you still at least bag just over a 1R, which obviously if you're risking 0.5 or whatever, that'll just be over just 0.6, 0.7, right? And obviously if this trade that you entered on the next time, let's say you took another short here to scale in, but then price came back up and obviously hit your stop loss in this one, you're still going to obviously walk out at the end of the day with a bit of money, right? But that's kind of the process. Obviously, like I said, you can scale in. The scale in position may offer a little bit more risk to reward sometimes. That's not always the case. And then from there, you can pretty much just look to continue to scale in. Right, we had a potential third mitigation there, sorry. And then we're just going to simply let the trade play out, right? But yeah, that's kind of the process really. As you can see, price came back up to fully in balance there. But as long as we're staying below those supply zones, we're still obviously clearly that, that's price telling us that we're supply is still in control, right? And as you can see from there, price had obviously hit TP, right? Oh no, never mind, it didn't. Let's just keep playing price forward, right? Now it hit TP, okay? But remember guys, look what happened when price took at the M15 low, right? We got a bit more of a break to the upside, and this should just, people get a little bit triggered here and be like, well, when price takes out an M15 low, right, sorry, not when price takes an M15 low, but let's say you're in a trade and price breaks bullish, right? Yeah, fair enough, you can close the trade there if you haven't already targeted to an M15 low, but you can expect this to happen. When price takes out a significant high time frame high or low, you will expect a high time frame short-term pullback. And that's exactly what price did here, right? Because this is just an M15 pullback. It's not an M1 breaking bullish and we're going to continue bullish. This is just an M15 pullback. But anyways, from there, those are 3 optional scalings, maybe another one down here, maybe another one down here, and maybe another one down here. And you can keep looking for those scalings as long as you wish, but obviously when it comes to scalings, you need to be pretty precise and understand what you're doing. Okay, but guys, that is a brilliant example of a high probability setup. Why? Because let's go back to the daily. The daily, As you can see, we were rejected out a previous high. We're anticipating a pullback. The 4 hour, as you can see, we're overall bearish. We mitigate the H4 supply zone or supply chain at this point. And as you can see from here, M15 obviously reacted. We shifted bearish. We tapped into the points of interest. Then on the M1, we simply just got in with an M1 execution. Alright, is it always like this? No. But guys, this is the type of setups that you should be focusing on. Why? Because all the stars aligned. So what if you take 1 to 2 trades like this a week? You know? So what if you take none? Sometimes, right? Less is more. And the whole point is to trade like a sniper, not a machine gun. You don't need to be in the market every day, every hour, every second. You simply just need to focus on high probability setups. Wait for price to come to you and then execute, then react. Don't start chasing price. Let it come to you. Act and operate like a sniper, not a machine gunner. So if you found this useful, make sure you hit the subscribe, because I'll be, I'll keep breaking down setups like this if you really want to see more, step by step, okay? And if you want to go deeper into my mapping and rules, then check out the links in the description. My mentorship is there for you guys. But yeah, as I like to stay sharp, stay hard, and I catch you in the next video.